everybody. Okay, so we are going to do a message from universe for all of us today. And the color that the message is vibrating at is at this kind of light sky blue. And the color that I'm reading you from is this kind of orangey red color, which kind of says to me something about like moving in energy, moving into action, or something like that. So we are going to start with the Shaman's Dream Oracle. How's everybody doing today? Okay. The energy feels kind of calm to me. So maybe that's why the energy that I'm reading this message from kind of indicates a little bit more movement. So let's take a look. Message from universe. Okay. Wandering between realms. Yeah. And one more. Okay. Resonating. Whale song. Ooh. They're saying read from the book on this one. There's a message in the book on this one. Straddling worlds. Wandering between realms. So the message that I'm kind of getting from that, it's kind of being in that space of the non-physical and the physical, right? Where in a non-physical, you're working on the energies, and then the physical is where you're gonna take the actions to manifest into the physical reality, or that the physical reality is going to respond to the energies that you have worked in the non-physical reality. And right now you're kind of like in between the two, where it's like some of the energies have been smoothed out and have been worked out, and the manifestations haven't yet, the physical reality haven't quite caught up to it yet, because there's kind of like a buffering time between the two things, right? When the energies come into alignment, there's kind of like a consistency that needs to happen before the physical reality is able to kind of like, okay, you know, the energy's steady enough, now we can manifest the things into something solid, something that's in a physical form that you can see with your five senses, with your physical five senses, right? Let's take a look at the whale song. That one, there's an interesting energy that's coming from there. I mean, because of the song, I'm getting music too. So the people who are watching who resonate in some way with music, pay extra attention. Let's find out what this is about. 61. Okay. Remembering, harmonizing, resonating. There are moments in life when you have a sense of deja vu, that you visited this place, these feelings, this person before, and you know that a new opportunity to dance has come round again. Ooh, maybe that's the energy that I'm sensing, is that deja vu thing. Because I got this weird, you know how when you get a deja vu, you feel a little bit weird, like, wait a minute, something's happening here. That's the energy that I'm getting from this card. So maybe that's what it is that I'm feeling. Yet there is a haunting quality to this, a melancholy as life's mysterious fragility is also underlined. Like a whale song that pleads for its simple notes to be matched by another. You have a short time to capture this essence and let it resonate in a way that is potentially transformative, but only if you don't turn away. Okay. I'm getting what this means, especially next to the card where we just talked about between two realms, and we were talking about consistency. So the message is to stay consistent with, you know how sometimes like we get impatient with something. We're like, okay, I put this into motion, yet nothing's happening yet, and I'm not seeing the results of it yet. The resonating card is talking about you have to stay consistent in the energy that you're putting out. It's kind of like you plant the seed in the ground. You have to stay consistent in watering it and knowing that the plant's gonna grow, and you have to stay consistent in your optimism and in your dream, right? Keep dreaming the dream while it's forming itself. It's in energy form right now, and you have to resonate with your dream in order for your dream to come into fruition. That's why, like, when it was talking about it being like melancholy, like, that's why it's kind of a little bit sad sometimes. It's like, oh, I already put in the work, I did all the energy stuff, like, how come I'm still not seeing it yet? And the resonating is like, keep at it, it's getting there. It's like the fruition part of it, the fruit coming out of it is that last part of this whole process. And when it's in the middle, churning away and getting ready, you can't give up on it in the middle of that. And that's why it feels sad, because it's like, oh, it's not coming. And that's for human beings, it's kind of like, where is it? Where is it? And that's why it feels a little melancholy, like a little sad, right? Because you're thinking that just because you're not seeing it physically, you're not touching it physically, that it's not there. And universe is saying it is there. You're just, it's on its way. It's vibrationally, it's already there. You're just not able to perceive it physically yet. You have to know it in your heart that it's there. You have to, keep that dream alive. You have to keep resonating with that energy until it births itself. Okay. Okay. Yeah, but only if you don't turn away, right? Sometimes you may forget the moments of your humanity, your truest desires, because you've become so earthbound and calculating, striving, and doing. You're so overstimulated by the chase and what you're exposed to that you forget your heart. Now it's time to jump in the water and play and be reminded of your creative self, your collaborative impulse to sing along. We were talking about music. To sing along, seeking harmony, beauty, purpose, and meaning. At this moment, that is your exact invitation. You will achieve more than the plans you set in motion if you use this opportunity to explore, be curious, and take a much needed break from what your mind thinks it needs to accomplish. Your heart is calling. Answer it. So go with what your heart is calling you to, that helps you keep that dream alive. So if, for example, if singing makes you happy, I mean, not for it to produce anything, but just the act of singing itself makes your heart happy. Go do that. Like, and you're not looking for it to make something happen. You're really just doing it to keep your energy up, to keep your frequency up, so that the dream stays alive in your heart, until the universe comes together and brings you the physical thing that you're asking for, right? Wow. Okay. All right. Awesome. So that was the first deck, and then we're going to go into the tarot box. Have you guys been feeling a little bit sad? That maybe you've been waiting a while. It's like, well, I really believe in my dream, but it's taking so long. Or maybe or maybe sometimes, like, you plant an idea and you just still have a little bit of doubt in there. Like, you really believe in your dream and you believe in yourself, but every once in a while, maybe something, activates your sense of doubt. And then you feel a little sad, like, oh, but what if this? And you think of like a bad scenario. And they're saying, don't do that. Resonate with your dream, resonate with that high frequency, and whatever it is that can take your mind off of the doubts, take your mind off of the not having it yet. Go do those other things that makes your heart happy, right? So that you can ride along on that high vibe wave until the thing shows up. Yeah. All right. Okay. See, Knight of Pentacles. It talks about something taking a long time. You put in the work and you're kind of steadily stepping along, working on the thing, and keep going at it. Keep going at it. And they're telling you with this Knight of Pentacles, you're doing a really good job. You know, that thing that you're working on, whatever it is that you're trying to create, whether it's a relationship or, something about in your career or something in your spirituality, in your family, whatever it may be, you're doing a really good job, and they really want to commend you for that. They want to like hand you this coin, like a medal to you, like, even though whatever it is, you haven't even if there hasn't been like a final product or a final event or a situation or something, or a person shows up, if you're asking for a person, right? Even if that hasn't shown up in the physical yet, already universe wants to hand you this award, hand you this medal for doing what you're doing, because you're doing such a great job. And I feel like some of you really need to hear that, because sometimes it's hard, right? Like you're working on something and the physical thing hasn't shown up yet, so you don't even know if you're doing it right. And it's like nobody in the human realm is going to give you an award for being midway to your project, right? They always give it to you at the end. But universe is giving it to you now, before the physical item shows up, or the physical person, or the physical thing. Before the manifestation of your dream, the universe is giving you this award, saying you're doing a good job. Be proud of yourself now. There's a sense of steadiness too with this Knight of Pentacles, that we were talking about, the consistency of energy. So stay true to that frequency that you're on, that keeps your dream alive. Okay, I mean, they keep repeating that. It's all about that. Okay. Ooh, celebration. And the fours talk about like that stability, right? Look at that. Now you got that success. You're holding that wreath above your head. All these people are coming forward with your parade. Like, it's all good. In terms of, if this is about relationships and stuff, celebrations could be like wedding ceremony, could, the marriage, commitment, right? And this is you being so proud of yourself, going, all of that hard work that I did. And the hard work, mainly, we want to emphasize, it's the energy work, okay, where you're between the realms with the non-physical and the physical. There is physical action that isn't, you're inspired to, but most of the work, I would say like 80% to like 99% of the work is energetic. You have to believe in it. You have to know it so much that it's real in your mind. And then when it happens, when you're inspired to the action is so enjoyable, and you love doing it so much that even as you're, going along, stepping along towards your goal, that the physical things that you're doing, you enjoy doing it. You're resonating with your dream while you're doing it. And then that, when that celebration, when that thing comes and you're celebrating it, it's like you've been celebrating it all along already, that when it does come, you're like, oh yeah, I knew you were gonna come, I knew you were gonna be here. It's just that extra thing on the cake, but you enjoyed your journey all along the way, right? Okay, one more from here. Okay, so this is where the conflict, those who are having that conflict of like, some of you are feeling this kind of energy where it's like, I need to beat somebody or beat this situation, or kind of like use a little bit of force to get this going, or kind of like to push a little bit in order to force something to happen. You know what I'm talking about? It's like you've been waiting too long, and you're working on this energy, and you're doing the some of the inspired action, but the thing just, you need to shove it a little bit in order to get it going. There's something that happens, when you take action that's either it's too hurried, it's not in divine timing, or that it's you're struggling with it, like you just feel like you need to take extra more action to make something happen, to force it to happen, that you might get some result from it. Because this guy, this guy's like, yay, I won, sort of. But then there's like, there's something that happens out of it that's like not all 100% good. You know what I mean? It's like either maybe there's people that you feel like you were in competition with, where there's like, oh, in a competition there's always winners and losers, and the way universe brings you through the path of least resistance and the path of allowing to create what you want, there are no losers. Everybody's a win-win. Everybody wins, But if you force it, if you feel like you need to do something, I even want to say maybe some of you, maybe, I'm not saying everybody, but possibility, somebody wants to do something like underhanded, in order to win, right? It would be like this, where you come out on top on the surface winning, but then there are losers, but then there's also a part of you in your heart that also loses, because like maybe on the physical realm, it looks like you won something, but because you had done something underhanded, or you had done something under the table, or something sneaky or something like that, you don't quite 100% win. So an example I want to give, and I'm not saying this applies to anybody who's listening to this, but it's just an example of an energy, right? So imagine a scenario that you're in love with someone, but they're looking at you, but they're also looking at another person, to see who's a better match, for a relationship, right? And so you do something to make things turn in your favor while you're cutting your opposition to the side. Right? And maybe you like say bad things about your opponent, right? and so the person that you're wanting to create a relationship with says, oh no, I didn't know this bad thing about the other person. Okay, I choose you. And so you're like, yay, I won, yay. But it's kind of like a false happy, because now you've kind of like done something to your opponent where, did they deserve it? I don't know. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But it's like, when you're coming from your heart and you're following your soul calling you, you never do anything bad to hurt anybody else, right? So when you do something to hurt somebody else in order to gain favor for yourself, it never 100% feels good, even if you get what you want in the end, because like ultimately it's like it doesn't feel good in your heart. And yeah, so that's the kind of energy that I'm sensing from this. And it might not apply like specifically that scenario, but apply it to whatever other situation where you're kind of feeling that conflict of like, I want to win so bad that I might do something that goes against my soul. So universe is saying, watch out for that in your rush to succeed in whatever this is, that there's an energy floating around. Maybe you haven't taken action on it yet like this. Maybe it's not even that severe where you're hurting somebody, either emotionally or whatever. But maybe it's just something where you're thinking you need to work way too hard for something that would come a whole lot easier if you would just let go of the impatience, right? Maybe it's just that. So, but there's something like that here. That's an energy that's floating around. If you haven't acted on this yet, they're saying just be aware of this energy and stick with the resonating, more than considering this. Okay. All right. And so, okay, so that's the tarot box, and then we're gonna go to Oracle of Mystical Moments right here. Yeah, that's interesting. Universe wants you to know this is coming for you. If this is floating around in your space, whether you have acted on this yet or not, don't worry about it. Just lay the energy down, right? Even if you have acted on it. And just know that the true success, the true celebration is here for you. And yeah, you have to trust the process. You have to have faith in I think this was the order. But you have to have, but I feel like for some reason, they want me to put it like that. They want you to know that this is the outcome. And this is just something that's floating around, whether you have acted on this or not. It's not important. Okay, you can just lay it down and pick this up and say, I trust in my dream. Okay. All right. There's not don't worry about it. It's not that devastating, even if it has, even if this energy has manifested in some way. It's not that bad. So just put it down. They're saying just put it down. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Look at how similar, this is yellow and this is yellow, but like they're both holding their arms up and they're both like, they know the queen bee knows her security. The queen bee knows her steadiness. The queen bee knows her awesomeness, right? She's the master of the realm. She's got these bees eating out of her hands. She's got the plants all grown, from the seeds that she's planted, right? She owns this realm. And the people who are into numerology, they always point out the number 11 as a master number. And also the Four of Wands, they sometimes call 1111, the synchronicity of the 1111 because of the Four of Wands, right? So you got 111111. Look at that. Look at that. I think that's it for the Oracle Mystical Moments. And then so next we have the Mediumship Training Deck. Oh, you know what's interesting? I'm just noticing we were talking about the arms being held up, and here's the arms being held up, but it's like there's a balance in this picture, but there's an imbalance in this picture. You see how he's holding two swords on one side and one sword on this side? There's an imbalance of energies in this picture, but there's balance and there's balance. So, yeah, that's really, really interesting. So it's like you're still holding your arms up. It looks like you won, but there's some kind of imbalance. Does that make sense? Okay. Clairaudience. just read the back. Have you ever heard your name being called when no one is actually there? Oh, they want to say your spirit is talking to you through your clairaudience. Sometimes when you're sleeping, you'll hear words in your mind, in your heart. You'll hear something. It almost feels like you're dreaming, but you're not dreaming. Your spirit is talking to you. So pay attention to those messages. Okay. Does a particular song, again, song. Yeah. Does a particular song or piece of music play in your head unexpectedly? Do you sometimes hear what others are thinking? These could be indicators you have the ability of clairaudience. It's the inner sense of hearing, the ability to hear names, dates, certain sayings, and yes, even songs and melodies. Yeah, highlighting the song thing again, the music. You may be receiving the information on a psychic or mediumistic level. Some people hear objectively, which is outside themselves. Others hear subjectively in their mind, as though hearing messages in their own voice. On a mediumship level, when a medium is working with the ability of clairaudience, it can be very specific and quite remarkable to witness. The medium's inner hearing is so acute and receptive that they may verbalize everything they're being told by the spirit communicator. Next time you're outside, try this simple exercise. Relax and close your eyes. Try to really listen to the sounds that are far off in the distance, be it the traffic, children playing, birds singing, or just people talking. Use the power of thought to stretch your listening. And then focus your awareness on the sounds closest to you. Listen to all the sounds at once. This special exercise is meant to develop and strengthen the medium's inner sense of hearing. So if this calls to you, you might want to try this exercise. But that dream thing that I was talking about, it's what they're calling here the subjective in your mind hearing. Like, some of you might hear it from the outside. I've done that myself, even in my sleep, where I heard a voice from the outside. Oh, just a side story. This is reminding me of one time on Christmas night. Was it Christmas night or Christmas Eve? But it was Christmas, but it was like I was sleeping. So maybe it was like Christmas Eve into Christmas Day, like right past midnight, because I remember it was like on Christmas. It was nighttime. I was sleeping, and then from outside, I heard this male voice go, ho, ho, ho. And I woke up. I heard that, and I was like, I knew it. I knew you existed. I knew you really existed. I just thought that was really funny. I think that was like my spirit team playing with me. Okay, so, I gotta put this down. Okay, clairaudience. Pay attention to that, and especially since the music thing is highlighting so much, pay attention to the lyrics of songs that are playing around you. Like, say if you walk into a store and they're playing music in the background, listen and see if there's a message coming through with that also. Or like if you happen to be one of those people who hear music in your mind, pay attention to that. Okay, so the last deck that they're calling me to draw from is actually on it's an app, the Money and the Law of Attraction. So we're gonna, let's see, there we go. So we're gonna say a message from universe for my YouTube audience. There we go. Oh. Money is not the root of evil or of happiness. Okay. The important subject of money and financial success. Is it focusing? Okay. The important subject of money and financial success is not the root of all evil, as many have quoted, nor is it the path to happiness. So when you are able to successfully control something like the subject of money, that affects most of you all day, every day, you will have accomplished something rather significant. For not only is it certain that your financial success must improve, but the evidence of that success will then prepare you for deliberate improvement in every aspect of your life experience. Oops. There we go. Let me read that again. I got distracted. This important subject of money and finance is not the root of all evil. Oh, okay. But the evidence of that success will then prepare you for... Okay. So for those of you who think this way, that money is bad in some way, or that if you're one of those people who look at, say, rich people like billionaires and kind of feel discomfort at their abundance and wealth, and feel like, oh, they have too much and they need to stop being so selfish and share it with the rest of the world. Like there's some kind of belief out there that if billionaires will only share their wealth and kind of even it all out with everybody else, that everybody else, it will elevate everybody else's life, right? And there's a false premise in that, because another person's high energy cannot elevate your low energy in that way. I mean, unless or I mean, not necessarily like your energy, or but like say somebody else who's like not having a good time financially, like energy doesn't even out like that. Like we all came into this earth with the same power of thought, to focus your thought, to create, right? And if somebody is really down in the dumps in terms of money, and also, when sometimes when one aspect of your life is kind of low, then it affects like all other aspects of your life. Then the rest of your life kind of goes down with it, right? If you let it become that way. But what they're saying here is that energy doesn't work that way. Like even if because I remember Abraham said one time, even if the wealth were to be distributed evenly throughout the earth, and they decide to just, everybody gets the same, right? Within 10 years, that energy is going to shift, and it's going to go back to how it is right now, where there's some people that are really, really rich and some people really, really poor, and a bunch of people in between, right? Because that's how energy works. Like even if you give somebody poor a lot of money, if their energy about abundance, about wealth, about how they feel about themselves, the worthiness, right? If all of that doesn't change, then they're gonna lose their money really, really fast. People who suddenly have windfalls of money, people who win lotteries and stuff like that, sometimes their life gets worse, right? If you see them a year later, I mean, they might be happy for a while, but if their energy remains the same, where they're still, thinking bad thoughts about themselves, thinking bad thoughts about the world, or, whatever, that eventually after a short while, then their reality will again morph back to match how their energy is, right? So the physical changing of something will not change your energy unless you actually work on that energy. That's why it's so important to work on this energy, be consistent with it, and let it manifest out of the steadiness of your frequency rising, to the queen bee, right? Once you get to the queen bee, people can't knock you off. So even if, like, say you're at the queen bee status of your life, and everything's going well for you, if somehow your wealth got taken away, or something from this high vibe of yours, some physical item or thing gets taken away, somebody robs your house or whatever, like Most likely you wouldn't manifest that in the first place, but if for some reason you have a moment, right? Somebody steals something from you, very quickly, as you maintain your energy, it will get replenished. The universe will give it back to you and better in some way, because your energy is high and it's steady, you know, like nobody can knock you off your high place. So this card here is about understanding that it's not about the money. You know, the money isn't bad or good. It's your energy. You know, how is your energy high, is your energy low? And then they're also saying, like, once you understand that it's not really about the money and it's about your energy, that that if you're vibrating at wealth and abundance for yourself of all things, not just physical money, right? That then that also affects, like we were saying, like all the other aspects of your life. When one part of your life is really, really high frequency, that will help you to elevate and lift up all the other aspects of your life too. And so then everything in your life works out and you end up really balanced and on top of the world. Okay? So maybe some of you needed to hear that message and to understand about money or about just energy. Okay. Yeah. So if anybody's feeling like maybe something in the world is unfair, it's not unfair. It's just that people most human beings don't understand how energy works. Most people in the world don't understand that whatever they're focusing on, whatever they're observing, that's how they're creating their reality. And so they're like, oh, you know, I'm poor in this way or that way. Maybe they're poor in relationships, right? Or maybe they're actually poor in finances, and they're like, boohoo, I'm feeling bad about this, nobody loves me, or like, boohoo, I'm feeling bad about this because I can't afford anything. And they keep focusing on that. They keep hating on the rich people because life isn't fair, blah blah blah. And they just keep, you know, that energy running in their mind. That's what they'll keep creating for themselves in their reality. And then even when opportunities do show up for them, they don't even see it because their energy is keeping them focused on looking at lack, right? And so it's really about the shifting of the energy, and and being able to understand that you have to believe in yourself. You have to think higher thoughts, even if your physical reality is not exhibiting that to you right now. You have to think more good feeling thoughts in order to lift yourself up higher and higher into a better state of being for yourself, and for improvement to happen in your life. Okay, so yeah, all right, so that is the message from universe. Okay, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye.